So I'm about to say something really, really horrible, and this is for a very, very specific audience. Um, and I sincerely, sincerely ask, imagine that. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to. Because I really want to try to make this video without feeling a need to justify. Um, of course, it's not like all. Anyway, this video. Sorry, you've waited long enough to know whether you're supposed to watch this video or not. This video is not for you. This video is only for people who have been tested and who have an IQ over 130, let's say. So there are a lot of great videos on this channel, but I just wanted to talk to, and don't peep. Put a comment that you're interested, and I'll make another video for a general audience. But right now, just let me sort of talk to my brothers and sisters here. All right, so if we're just pretending like they have agreed to watch something else, I was talking to my mom about my breakup, and she mentioned that I use a lot of my brain, and it kind of set me off, and it reminded me of how, because I just recently met a kid who has the same IQ as me. 4 years old, so it's on the kids test, same IQ as me. 1 point less, just to make sure our roles are clear. But actually, it's 8 points higher than mine was when I was 4 years older and took a kids test. So, and one of the ways that when I was talking to his parents, because I know a parent of his, and that's how I found out about that he existed, and they just got the results. And I'm so excited. I'm terribly excited. I've never met anyone who has been tested and had the same IQ. I had one friend who may even be watching this who said her IQ is 156, which is higher than mine. And I did really enjoy my interactions with her, but there were just some other things that made interaction difficult. But that's what happens when you have an IQ that high. So I'm so excited about being able to serve as a mentor, an uncle, a big brother to this kid, because he's mixed race, same IQ, male, handsome little bugger, and may have some emotional difficulties, but he's a kid. But anyway, so extremely excited. And I remember that one of the things that was said about him was that he sees things differently. And I've heard that a lot when people talk about my intelligence, that I see things differently. And as I'm having this conversation with my mom, and the reason that we need to talk about this is because there is a difference between me and my ex, a difference that I need to maybe respect more and take more seriously. But it's easy to not take a difference in intelligence seriously, well, because that's what we're taught. And we're taught that through these euphemisms. We as high IQ people, we are taught that we see things differently, that we use our brains differently, that we use more of our brains, that we will be referred to as book smart, that we have lots of information. Anything to avoid saying that the actual mechanisms are of different quantity and quality. We'll put the focus on the usage of the brain, the percentage of the brain used. And I get that instinct to interpret it that way, because of course normal people want to keep hope. They want to be able to respect people that are clearly having ideas and understandings that they aren't, without saying that, oh, you're smarter. You have a better brain. Your interpretive mechanisms are better tuned. Are better tuned to sort of the world, not well-tuned, nobody's are well-tuned, but better tuned to the world, but more better. They communicate better. There's less bullshit. There are fewer bullshit voices. They're able to get carried away because there's a lot more communication. So I don't want to say that we did anything special. We got lucky. We got lucky that we have great ingredients that are working together well. It's not that we can turn it on or off. I'm just using it better, and maybe I can teach someone else to use their tools better. I could, actually, even now. And it's hypothetically possible, and I think I even could. Or I could start to. But the thing is that they would still have to make up for worse quality mechanisms and worse communication between mechanisms. You can't just turn on intelligence. It's not just about thinking, and it's not about seeing differently or thinking differently. Yeah, I see things differently. I often see things how you see them. I see them this way. I see them this other way that you see them. I see them this other way. I see them this other way that you see them. And then I see them this other way, and I think that this one actually might be the easiest to reasonably justify. So yeah, I see things differently. I also see more. I also see things better. I don't see things clearly. I don't see things well. I make mistakes all the time. But I see things better. And what's the use in saying that way, and being so brutal with it? The use is that I think we get really confused by all the euphemisms. I did anyway. So then a difference in intelligence, you're an asshole for ever seeing that, for ever considering that as being real. And it's like, I just imagine, and maybe this is a metaphor that you can use to sort of legitimize what I think is a legitimate frustration about how people talk about your intelligence. Imagine that I think my height in percentile is like 6'7" or 6'6" maybe, which is like average NBA. It's not even a good metaphor, so I don't even know. But anyway, let's just say I'm smarter than 6 feet tall. We knew that. We knew that was above average. But anyway, and it's like someone wants you to hit the hoops with this 5'5", this 160 centimeter senior citizen, and then gets mad at you when you're wondering whether there could be an issue. Which is why, of course, that's where that movie comes from. Because we love the idea of you thought you were so much better than this old guy, and then he kills you. And it's a young guy in an old guy costume. Anyway, but, and they get mad at you, and they're like, oh, just because he hasn't practiced as much, just because he doesn't use the same skills as you do, just because he doesn't use as much, or he doesn't know as much strategy, just because he doesn't use his legs as well as you do, and you're just like, look, I'm sure he could be better than whatever he is. I don't even know what his level is, but I'm just looking, and I'm just like, and of course, when it comes to intelligence, there has to be much more than just looking, okay? But for a metaphor, you can go, oh, I wish him all the best, but are we going to be able to practice together? Am I wrong for acknowledging this height, strength, energy, and speed difference? Am I wrong for thinking that it's more than just a difference in basketball knowledge and how we use our basketball knowledge and skills? And you're not. Look, don't be arrogant. This is especially not for anybody who hasn't been tested, who just took like an online test or something. We have to be as humble as possible, of course. But we're not going to be 6'9" people who walk around like this, who didn't at all go into sports, who felt ashamed of their height, who were told they just walk differently, who were told they just see differently. Yeah, and there's some things I can't see down there, but I think I just see more, actually, to be honest with you. So we're going to stand up, not too tall, right? But we're going to stand up as tall as we are. And if you've been tested, then you may have an idea. And we're going to be aware of the standard deviations, right? And so I know that 1 point on 2 different tests actually makes no difference. And I also know that I'm not considering my result from when I was a kid. I was 4 years older than him, 6 points lower than him. So we're not going to... Because I do need to stand a little bit taller than him if I want to. But anyway, so that's what I want to share with my my either Mensa people or my 999ers, or of course people who are even smarter than I am. And I don't know whether, I mean, I don't know what your experience is like, but maybe there are glimpses of it that I've been able to get. One thing I also like to quote, you know the TV series Scorpion? I stopped watching it, but I remember one episode, there was a guy that the team was trying to like figure out his whereabouts, and his IQ was somewhere around mine, and they were saying that he's in the sweet spot where he's way too intelligent for anybody close to average, but then he's not nearly as intelligent as like true geniuses. And which can be incredibly lonely because you can't really spend time with the average people. So people who are like 10 points or 15 points lower for me, they can easily get along with and spend time with average people. So they're with the mainstream. People who are 10 or 15 points higher than me, no way that they're getting anywhere near most people. And so they absolutely have to find each other. And I'm not smart enough to join them. And I'm too smart to do, and anyway, so he said it's this lonely sweet spot between the two communities. And that's where I am, and that's why a lot of the women I've dated have been from that community. I've never dated a woman in that community or in the sweet spot. And that's the thing, women especially, women are told to boo, keep small. You know, tall women will walk like this. You know, smart women, unless they're ugly, are gonna play it down. Not even really intentionally, they're just not gonna. So we really just need to be, I think, honest with people who are taller or smarter. Okay, cool. Not you see things differently. Not you're just quicker even. Your mechanisms are better. Cool. Doesn't mean everything that you say is correct and everything that I say is wrong. That doesn't mean that every time we disagree, it's you that's right and that's wrong. Because nobody in this situation is reasonable. But then, you know, as far as betting odds go, then the intelligence difference could be useful. But it probably as much as the informational difference, almost. But no, there's this guy, Amos Tversky, probably one of the most important people in the world. Dead now, but his work with Daniel Kahneman, extremely important. And Daniel Kahneman, a journalist described him as he could find out what you were studying, learn about it, like in a conversation, and then be asking questions you had never thought of. And then be coming up with ideas that you hadn't considered and know your field better than you. And this is probably some kind of exaggeration, but I'm sure that this happened a few times where some people are just amazed that the thing they've been studying for 30 years, his fresh outlook and also just his ability to catch up so quickly because he has better interpretive mechanisms, better learning mechanisms than other people. Well, that I'm sure that amazed some people. And I'm probably not as smart as Amos Tversky. But yeah, talk to me about something that you've been believing or thinking for years, and I'll turn it around pretty quickly. Show you some little corners that, I'll show you what's under the rug, what's behind the curtains, and what's in the unlit hallway, and the rooms that follow. Oh no, not you, because I was speaking to my fellow. I don't have anybody like that in my life. Leave a comment, let's be friends, please, I'm so lonely. So especially, So if I were to say, what would I want? I would want between minimum 136.7 and then maximum minimum 130 and maximum 160. I don't want to go any higher because I don't want to be dragging you down. But I've got some pretty cool ideas though. So, all right, see ya. And if you were not of average intelligence, I hope I said it in a nice enough way that, I mean, if you were not of above very superior intelligence, or if you were just superior or just high or whatever, or just very superior. No, I think very superior starts at 130, right? So, okay. And it's just, we're told so much not to be arrogant, and we shouldn't be arrogant assuming that we are right, but it is not arrogant to recognize that, oh, okay, I have some really cool mechanisms. Oh, okay, cool. And I think people actually people in that 160, 170, 180 range probably had no idea really what I'm talking about, because they had no choice but to be arrogant. They couldn't bow to what people were saying. That wasn't possible. They saw things so differently, so much better. And so then they just found, themselves. And I am close enough to above average smart people that I was like, oh, so I have to fit in with them? Okay. So this might just be for people in that sweet spot. In which case, okay, if you've gotten until the end of this video, now I'll just say, so I'm at, because no one is watching this, so it isn't, anybody who's in the sweet spot is probably right about where I am or a little bit higher. I can say it. What about people watching this that, fuck them, right? I've given enough warnings. So, if someone else is at this or within 2 or 3 points of this, sweet, So 147. Okay, bye.